T-minus 60 seconds. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome, everybody, to the 5 Foot Viking podcast, where you get to drink a beer and learn something new. Tonight I'm excited. I'm trying a couple new things tonight, as I try to do every week, bring you something bigger and better, and some guests and some fun and some beers. Wanted to let everybody know before we get started, there is I love the interaction that I have with doing a live stream. There's so many things that can go wrong, and there's kind of butterflies, and it's fun. But the best part about it is that when you guys tune in from home, the fact that you guys get to comment, we can see it, we can pull it up, we can have a conversation about it. That's really the best thing about doing this podcast and doing this live stream. So if you are watching at home, make sure that you're logged in and watching from the 5 Foot Viking Facebook page or the 5 Foot Viking YouTube page, because those are the only places that when you comment, we can see it and we can interact with you guys live as we're here. Also, moving forward, if you guys want to see some of the past episodes, you can actually go to there's a landing page that I created, and it is the 5footviking.com. It's scrolling right there at the bottom. The 5footviking.com. That is like a platform for you to watch or listen to any of the 5 Foot Viking podcasts from whichever platform you like most. You can watch them on YouTube or on Facebook. You can listen to them on Spotify or on Google Podcasts or on Apple Podcasts or on anchor.com. It's just really cool that that's like a one-stop shop where you can just jump in there and go to your favorite platform to watch or listen to everything that's going on. So there's that for you. And also, I got a couple people that hit me up and they said, "Hey man, you got some cool microphones and some lights, and I got this really cool little mug right here that if you want, you can actually go down in the description below, and there are some links down there to all the different gear that I've been using. And if you want to check it out, some of it's on Amazon. You can look at it there. That's down there for you below as well. So with all of that being said, I want to introduce my guest today. They are just some of my favorite human beings in the world. They're just so much fun to talk with and laugh. And usually the smallest conversation will end up being 6 hours because we just have so much fun. They're just great human beings. And they just recently started a show called WAW. I think it's WAW. It's actually WAW. It's pronounced WAW. It's WAW, World According to Woot. And I'm going to bring in our guest tonight, Jim and Brenda Wooten. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you guys taking your Tuesday and spending it with me.
Hey, Whit.
Woots Happening. Woots Happening.
I love it. What do you guys say at the beginning of every show? It's Woots Happening, and then
World According to Woot, the show where important topics of the day are largely ignored
and foolishness reigns supreme.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
There's an explanation to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we avoid the obvious topics and give everybody an hour of not dealing with whatever we're all dealing with in this world for an hour.
1 hour.
I love it. That's exactly why I think we're on the same page. But when this all pandemic and shutdowns and lockdowns and started happening, it kind of seemed like social media was getting a little toxic. And I felt every time I got off of the internet, I'm like, oh man, I just feel like I got to take another shower. So, same reason why I created the 5 Foot Viking is that we can drink a beer, we can learn something new from some friends, and kind of push away from that table for just a little bit, for like an hour, like you said. I think it's great. So speaking of beer, we're going to jump right into our first segment, which is the beer drinking segment. I need to get some music for that. That'd be pretty cool. So I know that Jim is not much of a beer drinker. No. Did you? Were you ever a beer drinker, or?
I never really did drink alcohol a whole lot. I from time to time, maybe like once every couple of months, but never did gravitate towards that. Like,
so I make up for it,
like my better half.
Yes, and yes, you do. But I know you're not much of a beer drinker, but I know you like your wine. So
I do like my wine.
What kind of wine are you drinking today?
So today, I have a pretty bottle. Look at this baby. So this is Incanto, and you actually get this at Trader Joe's, and it's darn good. I was gonna say damn, but my mom might be my favorite friend, so I'm gonna say darn. My mom might be watching, so I can't say that word. But this is it actually attracted to me because the bottle was so beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good Pinot. So Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. And I also know from watching World According to Woot that you always have different glasses.
Yes. So today my glass is called Silver Lining, and I'm not going to show you the bottom because then I dump the whole entire thing on me. but
Which happens often.
But the glass today I have is Silver Lining. So
excellent. And did you make the glass or do you?
No, you know what? People gift me glasses, and I don't know if I should be concerned about that or happy about it. But I have so many beautiful wine glasses that people send me at shows when I'm at Jim shows. Right. They give me beautiful wine glasses. So again, nice. I don't know if I should be concerned or.
Well, it's a good.
I think it's beautiful. That's awesome.
It's a good thing, though, because there's not a day that goes by that she doesn't smash one on the
I'm telling you, and there's sometimes that there's no wine involved. I'm very reckless that way.
Well, that's why I have a Scotch set crystal that used to be 4, But yeah, I've had some. We've had some accidents as well. For my beer, I am drinking a SUDS. It's a Mexican lager, and it's from a brewery out here called Four Sons Brewing in Huntington Beach. 4.1%. Here is the can.
Nice.
It's really good. Me and my wife, we love this brewery that we go to. It's not too far from our house, and they always have great beers, and even during the pandemic and the shutdown, they have been shut down occasionally. But when they did start opening up, they have a really nice outdoor area that they for their tasting room, and we were able to go there and grab some stuff. So that's what I'm drinking tonight. And we already have a few people jumping in on the comments. Let me jump in here and just take a look. We have Mr. Schlitt, David Schlitt. How are you, sir? This is my 6th grade drama teacher. And we're still friends. Yeah.
That is awesome, so neat.
That's pretty neat. We got my pops, my dad. He's up in Utah. We'll watch tomorrow. Love you, Dad. I appreciate it. We got Bob Bacon. Hi, Wootens.
Bob Bacon. Bob Bacon.
Home the bacon.
We got my buddy Boris. Boris is out here. Is it a little too echoey? Yeah. You know what? I was trying something new. Let me and my wife in the other room. I love you so much. Skull.
Arlene, we
Skull
love you so much too.
is the Viking term for cheers.
I'm telling you.
That's
Cheers,
awesome. Hey.
cheers.
Skull.
Cheers. Wait, I want to take a look at that mug you have. That's amazing. Hey,
Yes, Leslie. Hi, Leslie.
Wow, that is some mug.
Yeah, this is a 30 ounce, I think, something like that. It's pretty.
Wow, man.
That is a Viking mug.
Yeah, I'm to tell a secret. I'm looking at possibly getting some branded merchandise with the 5 Foot Viking logo.
Right now, that's amazing. That's
Should be.
Whit,
Should be pretty neat.
Do you drink much water?
My wife makes sure I do. Yes.
Okay. This is what you want right here, man. Do you have a Berkey filtration system?
I do not.
I told you. He's going to
Takes
talk
out
about it.
99.99% contaminants out of your water and the chlorine.
Yeah.
And I drink it out of bottles because,
Glass.
Yeah, glass bottles because they say that the plastic bottles that we get our bottled water in, there's contaminants that seep into the water and cause cancer and stuff. Hi, Anitra.
Hi, Anitra.
Yeah,
And,
so Berkey water filtration system.
Berto.
Hey, Berto.
What's up, Pete?
Berto Z, the drummer extraordinaire. Love it. I love that we have some people jumping on and saying hi.
High school friend. Hi, Brenda.
That is so cool. So one of the reasons why I wanted you guys on here, you guys, not only have we been friends for a lot of years, but you guys are always just so much fun to be around. You guys just have this positive energy. And when you guys started doing the live streams, I was like, there couldn't be anybody better at this time in 2020 that we need someone to do that. And I caught you guys just randomly. I'm like, what are they doing going live? I saw this last week. What are they doing? And I literally started watching and you guys were like, Whit's watching, come on. And like invited me and I'm like in my underwear. And I was like, I had to put the camera up, but to back up and give people perspective of what's going on. My first segment is called Backstage with World According to Woot. So with this segment, I wanted to ask you guys, like, how did you guys meet? How long have you guys been married? Kids, dogs, what cities have you lived? Do you guys actually fight like regular people sometimes?
Yeah. No. It's like a fairy tale. No, I'm just
Go ahead.
So first question, how did we meet? It's an interesting question, how we met.
Don't make it too interesting.
I could give you details, but
Okay,
so we met
ahead.
in 1995.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long.
Of
1995.
course, we were 5 years old attending kindergarten together with.
So I was enrolling my children in a private Christian school, and Jim was the bookkeeper. He was not a musician.
I was a musician. You were just not aware of that.
No.
Well, hey, I play an instrument. Technically, that means you're a musician. So, okay.
So he was my kid's basketball coach, and I thought he was cute.
You did?
I did.
You never told me that.
I kind of did. I married you. I feel like you should know that.
I thought that was out of pity.
Anyway, I met Jim as my kid's basketball coach. He was coming out of a divorce. And
Go ahead and just spill all the
I know.
Hey, we're going backstage. You know what happens backstage? We're talking about, we're getting down to the nitty gritty of everything.
He had stopped playing music for several years.
8 years.
8 years.
Bands. Stop playing music in bands.
And then when I met you, we started dating, and he got back into the music scene.
Yeah.
And that's how our world started, actually, as music and musicians.
In the music world.
Yeah.
And we've been married now for 18 years. It'll be 19 in
Yeah.
August.
But together.
Yeah, we've been together since 95. So
Yeah.
it'll be 26 years.
Okay, so hold on. So when you met in 95, when you're taking your kids in there,
Yeah.
Jim's just playing basketball with kiddos, and
He really is. I thought he was adorable.
and then as soon as you guys meet, like a week later, you're like, hey, this is kind of working.
So let me tell you in the particular school that he actually taught in, the teachers were not allowed to date the parents. I was a parent. He was technically a teacher. So we had to sneak. We snuck for how long?
Are you just going to spill it all, or
a couple months? Months.
My wife just said, what happens backstage stays backstage.
So we snuck dating for a couple months. But obviously, we liked each other a lot and married each other.
And here we are.
We
get along real well because she keeps me in the dungeon when we're not doing the show.
Anyway, so I did not meet Jim Wooten as a musician. I met him as my kid's basketball coach.
Yeah, that's right.
So
How do I
when
know?
was the
Teasing.
so when was the first time you went to one of his shows?
I mean, it must have been a year, maybe a year
was
later.
Was it a year later?
Yeah, it must have been like 2005. You started playing with Shout.
Yes, that's
which
right.
was Eagles. Oh, no.
Not Eagles. It was a
Beatles.
60s tribute.
Yeah.
We did all 60s music, like Doors, Moody Blues, Beatles, Rolling Stones, all the music of the 60s.
But Whit, you got to know, I was raised with teachers, so music was not anything that I was familiar with.
Yeah, her parents were both teachers.
They were
right?
teachers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys met and you were a teacher at the school, you taught gym, you taught basketball. Were you a good basketball player?
Yeah, I actually played in high school. In high school. It was
MVP. You know he was.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to have won that, but I played probably from second grade all the way through my high school year, and then even in some adult leagues after that, up until about the time I was. What was it? I was probably about 40 when I stopped doing it.
Yeah. And you got injured.
Yeah, I got injured when this is so funny, Whit. I had just joined Led Zeppelin and I was playing in a league, an adult league on Saturday nights. We were playing at Santa Monica. Do you remember the old place? What was that called? 40 Below, or what was that? What was the name of it?
I think it was 40
Do you remember that in Santa Monica?
Yeah.
You remember that place? We were playing there. It was only our second show. I had a game that happened at like 8 p.m. that night, and then I had to be at the venue at 11 to load in with Led Zeppelin. Well, in the last seconds of the game, the guy was going after the ball, and he poked me in the eye and tore my eyelid. I had to go into
and have a plastic surgeon brought in to sew his eyelid back together.
Yes. It was crazy.
Did you make it to the show?
So he missed
I
his.
didn't. I missed it, man.
Missed it.
I missed my second show with Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
So that was the end of my basketball career.
So Led Zeppelin was born.
Yes.
that was our second life.
Yeah.
And do you guys have kids? Yeah, I know you guys have dogs. You have you have a few puppies.
We have dogs.
Yes.
So we have 3 children. So when I met Jim, he had a 3-year-old, and I had a 6, 7-year-old. And then we proceeded to raise all of our children together and dogs.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We couldn't have come from more diverse backgrounds.
Yeah.
I mean, her parents were so strict.
Super strict.
They'd let them watch, TV like a half hour a night.
No, I never watched TV before 5 p.m. at night.
Well, that's new to me.
Yeah.
But you only got to watch a half hour.
Half hour a day.
And
half hour a day.
I mean, her whole weekend was consumed with doing chores.
Chores.
So I like to put it this way. She was raised by the Bradys. I was raised by the Bundys. I never made my bed once in my life, man.
And there was not one time that our family did not sit down for a full-blown meal because, like I said earlier,
tell her the process.
I was raised by teachers. My mom was a home economics teacher. So everything was food, sewing, home care. My dad was a teacher. So I told Jim, I said, I don't know if there's one day that I've ever sat down where we didn't have dinner as a family at the table. And Jim said
6 o'clock every night.
Every night, 6 o'clock. And Jim said, I don't know if there's one day that I can say we did have dinner at the table.
Not even once. I can't ever remember having dinner at the table with my whole family one time in my life. It never happened. My mom would make dinner. We'd all go and,
take their dinner and take it to the room. That was unheard of in my life.
So how did this work out when you guys get together and you guys are completely opposites? How did that happen?
Well, now she started to see the light and she's doing everything my way.
Should I agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think so. We got Mr. Gary Grantham hanging out with us tonight. The 14 Below is the club. Hey, my beautiful tribute jackasses.
How are you doing, big?
I love the fact that
tribute jackasses.
Or that.
Love it. Jim grew up more like me. TV trays. Yes.
Yeah.
I never. It was every night in my life was a formal dinner. It was a formal dinner. Man. I never agreed to any kind of dinner arrangements because I knew that I had to be at my dinner table at 6 p.m.
Well, isn't it interesting though? This is interesting. Both of my parents were musicians. Both of Gig's parents were musicians. And what we would do, I mean, my mom would make dinner, we'd grab it. We'd go into the living room and watch
living room.
Carol Burnett.
We weren't allowed to have food in our
Sonny
living room.
and Cher show, that kind of thing.
Are you allowed to have food in the living room now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we did.
We do.
My mom's
90% of the time, that's where we have dinner.
We actually have food in our bed, and that was unheard of in my home.
But she's realizing how much she missed over all those years.
I did miss it. I've laxed off a little bit. So we have 3 children now, and they will still say that I'm a little strict. I'm not very strict, but I'm not as strict as my mom.
Not at all.
No. I'm still.
I wouldn't be sitting here if she was.
I've let off a little bit. I'm still a little formal though. I like the formal things. I like the traditional.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
So you meet, you get married. Jim transitions from an educator to an entertainer, and which I think is beautiful because that's how we met. But being, and this is something that I wanted to ask Brenda, because me and my wife have had conversations about this as well. It takes a very special woman to date a man who is a musician, and because we have a very interesting lifestyle. When we do this for a living, it's different from just being a guy in a band. We're not just a guy in a band that's, right, going out on the weekends and I get to go play with my friends at this. This is an everyday, all day, on the phones, booking stuff, promoting stuff, creating flyers, doing social media, practicing, honing in our own craft. And then we're in clubs and restaurants and bars and nightclubs, sometimes 5-6 nights a week. And my wife and I have had conversations about how it's an interesting lifestyle. So I want to ask you, being that Jim is a professional musician, how is it? Is it difficult? Are you was it easy for you to jump into this role, and how do you deal with it?
Well, I mean, it was a learning curve, definitely a learning curve. And musicians have a certain stigma, right? They have a certain reputation that they go into clubs. They love women. I feel like with every musician, it's about who you married. It's about the man. It's about the man you married, and he's a musician. So you have to make sure that you create an understanding.
Is that what we've done here?
With what's going on, because
What did we do here?
so your husband does not go into a corporate environment. Your husband, for his living, walks into a club where there is a very different environment. So you have to develop a trust with the man you're with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
In fact, we have a great story about what happened. I was working at that school for 20 years.
Yeah.
And when I started in Zeppegan, let's see, I started at the school in the year, was it two? Oh, wait, no. 1990 is when I started working.
I was about to say, I'm like, how old are you, bro?
5 years before I even walked into the office.
But I started at the school in 1990, and I started in Led Zeppegan in 2001.
Yeah.
Now we were with Zeppegan, just kept escalating in popularity over the initial years, and I kept bringing my schedule back at the school. Like when I got in, it became apparent I've got to take Fridays off. So I'm going to go down to a 4-day schedule. I did that. And then we started playing more Thursdays. And I said, I got to go down to 3 days, then 2 days, then 1 day. Then finally I just said, there's no reason I need to be doing this anymore.
I'm quitting.
So I just said, I'm doing music only. That happened in October of 2010. At the time,
but keep in mind, I had been working for the Auto Club for about 15 years.
Yeah,
I was the admin. I was an administrative assistant.
Yeah, and so she was still working the 9 to 5, getting up early, getting in the shower, doing her hair, doing her makeup. The first day after I stopped working the day job, the first Monday, she's running around the house, drinking coffee with one hand, putting her eyelashes on with the other, just storming around. I'm just kind of following her around in my pajamas. And then finally she, stumbles out the door and goes to her car. And I said, bye, honey. And she says,
I got to my car.
Yeah, she got to her car. She goes to open it. She looks at me. She looks at her car. She looks at me and she says, how did this happen? And I said, don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
So basically, Jim Wooten figured out how to make me go to work full time and wave to me on the porch in his pajamas.
I got to tell you, it's been a similar story over here with my wife working, and it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I feel so bad because she's leaving in the morning and she's like, I don't want to go to work. I'm like, okay, bye.
I feel for you, honey.
Well, not soon after that I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it was what, 4 years?
About 4 years of torture for her.
Yeah. Torture.
Well, she'd come up time and I'd be asleep, It was
we have Angie. She says, oh my God, Brenda, you and I grew up the same way. Who knew? I grew up in a military family, one hand on the lap, cannot speak until spoken to. That's very military right there. One hand down there, eating with the other hands, very proper. My good friend, Edgar Namrock, he has a podcast called the Ed Namrock Podcast. He's
nice.
Hey, Ed.
He's been helping me out occasionally. He's kind of the guy who got me started with all this fun stuff. And he says, I've seen you both. I've seen the both of you guys smash through afternoon and night sets and then get up early and head over to the casinos for 3 hours of sleep and killing the sets there as well. That's been plenty of times that we have done that.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
big
Well,
time.
man, you're working 5 and 6 nights
You
a
have
week
a
lot
good
of the time, man.
schedule.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean, I'm not afraid of hard work. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, here's the thing. And Jim, I know that you will completely agree with me when I say this, that our jobs, not when you do something that you love. I mean, I hate that cliche that's like, you do something you love, you never work a day in your life, which is a bunch of horse shit. Because when I love what I do, and I'll play on stage for free, but you need to pay me a grip of money to set up my gear. And drive out there, because that's literally what we get paid for, is the drive, the setup, the tear down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're saying that, Whit, because
No, I agree with
it was
you.
so funny. I mean, during that period where she was working at AAA,
I was getting up at 6:30 in the morning.
She's waking up. She goes, "Oh man, I got to go to work, in a little bit." It was a Friday, and I said, "Oh, you know what? So do I." And she's like, "You know what?" She's all at my job.
I'm all,
At my, she says, "At my job, I go there and people yell at me. At your job, people go there and
woo, woo, woo.
I said, hey,
Yeah.
I can't argue with that."
Yeah, that's Marlene and I have the same conversation. There's times when she comes up and she says, "Babe," like especially when we go on the cruise lines and we do some of these cruises, and I bring her with me, and we get there was this one time in particular that we got up there and we're up on top of the cruise, and we're drinking some beers and we're just hanging out, and I go, "You know what? I love my job." And literally my wife said this: "I love your job."
That's awesome.
And at the end of the day, I have to say, as much as I complain, we have had an amazing ride. I love all the amazing people I've met.
Oh yeah.
The amazing countries I've been able to visit: Japan, Germany, England, Ireland. I've gotten to see all these countries because of what my husband does for a living. So I love it.
Yeah. We got
a lot of cruises as well.
And I've gone on, I'm done with cruises.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, once you take one, they're kind of all the same. they're all the same.
We've got Johnny Reyes popping on.
Johnny,
Thumbs up. That's awesome. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you, man. We got Gary here. Hello, folks.
Gary.
He is a fantastic musician as well.
I love playing with Gary.
On the scene.
So
on the scene. He's brand new.
Yes,
we
just did a video with him and 3 of the guys of Deja Vu that's going to air this weekend.
Yep.
In fact, so that's we had a blast. The guy looks and sounds exactly
talented
like Neil Young.
and a nice
Amazing.
guy.
Oh, and
yes.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
So here's an interesting comment right here from, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Chopsy Haberman. Do you guys know Chopsy Haberman? He says,
Chopsy, how you doing, brother?
Oh, so you do know him?
Yes.
Okay, so then because he says, "Who is WAW?" I'm like, well, if you know him, then I'm sure he knows.
A lot. I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
But,
see that behind you?
Yeah. We've got the W with the fern. I like that. So the second segment that I wanted to jump into is geared more towards bands and businesses. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, and Jim, I wanted to start with you first, but we've known each other for a long time. I think we met when Steel Rod was opening up for Zepp again at the Quiet Cannon.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was so much fun. And I remember afterwards you came up to me and you were like, "Who are you guys?" Like, and I thought that was just such an awesome compliment because you were basically saying like, wow, you guys, where'd you guys come from?
I know.
So
Three,
good.
I mean, three incredible
So good.
musicians, three incredible voices. That you don't come across that very often.
And can I just say, can I take a second? You don't hear Jim say that often.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Well,
I hear Jim say that often.
I remember, when I was playing with the Long Run. It was actually with Led Zeppelin when this happened, but we were playing at the swap meet, and I really needed to have somebody that I could trust that could step in for me to fill in for me with the Long Run. And we were in the trailer, and I thought, oh wait,
sorry. Go ahead.
her phone
Sorry.
as well.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're sitting in the trailer in between sets, and you guys had come on, and you were playing Separate Ways by Journey, and I'm thinking, who's singing that? So I walked outside, I'm like, that's Whit. I got to get this guy.
So
He's
good.
going to be the man that fills in for me.
So
I totally remember that because when I remember being out there and I, first of all, we just loved playing with you guys. I thought there was a really good compliment there. And when I remember after the whole thing was done, you came up and I feel horrible saying this, but I got to tell you this story. When you said, hey, I play with these other bands, I play with this Eagles tribute band, and sometimes when they have gigs together, I can't do one of them. So, man, you have a high voice and you play bass great. You'd be a perfect fit for the Eagles band. And I just remember thinking like, oh, hey, yeah, I'd love to do it. Send me the stuff. And you sent me, all the songs that I had to learn and stuff. And I'll be 100 with you. I didn't even open it because it's so bad. It's so bad. And the reason why is because I didn't grow up on the Eagles.
Right.
The only song that I knew was like Hotel California. And I'm like, okay, this pretty basic stuff. I can get through this. And when you actually called me up for a few dates, it was about a month out. And I said, okay, well, I might as well learn these songs, right? Thinking that I'm all badass. And I pulled out these songs and holy shit, they are very, very difficult. There's so much going on with the vocals and with so now I have such a huge appreciation for the way that you attack the stage and the way that you do the vocals and do all that stuff. Wow, how difficult that show is.
Well, you're doing an incredible job with it, man. I feel like, oh man, you stepping in there, we don't miss anything.
Well, dude, you're 6'10". I've got big shoes to fill, bro. I'm the 5-foot Viking. I can't fit your shoes. So I do my best, but anyways, we digress. But what I wanted to talk about when it comes to bands and businesses, first, Jim, like how many? I know back then you were with Zepp again, you had the '60s thing, but I mean, as of right now, we're looking into 2021, and I know 2020 doesn't count because we all kind of had to stop, but. Yeah. Moving forward right now, how many bands are you in and how many instruments do you play? Because every time I go to your house, you've got something else that you're learning and you get I started a No Doubt tribute band too. I'm like, you're always doing new stuff. So how many bands are you in? How many instruments do you play?
Okay, so technically it's 7 bands. Technically, so we got Led Zeppelin,
okay,
The Long Run,
okay,
Deja Vu, which is Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Heart of Gold, which is Neil Young, Tailor Made Tapestry, which is Carole King, James Taylor tribute, and then I also play in each of their own tributes. Sweet Seasons is Carole King tribute, and Tailor Made is the James Taylor tribute. So it's at 7 right now.
Yep.
And what do you play it? Do you play bass in all of them?
Yeah, except for Deja Vu. In that group, I play acoustic guitar and keyboards, and I do the Graham Nash vocal.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was all accumulated. You obviously started off with one band and then added 6 the next day.
Yeah. Exactly.
Pretty much.
No,
yeah.
the Led Zeppelin thing, that's the one where I have the most musical responsibilities, because I mainly play bass in that, but you have to play keyboards, mandolin, some acoustic guitar, and the bass pedals. So that was the most challenging.
Is that something that you had to learn, or is that something that, like mandolin and keyboards, is that something that you already knew before?
Well, I started off, believe it or not, in my graduating year in 1980, I was playing in a Beatles group, Whit, because we were in a cover band. Our lead singer, who was singing Journey, Led Zeppelin, Kansas, all that stuff, Boston, he moved away. So the rest of us, the four of us, were like, well, what do we do now? And we're like, well, I guess we're going to have to sing. Why don't we do Beatles? We can sing the Beatles stuff. So that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because not only did I have to play bass and sing high, but I had to learn how to play the keyboard, because I had to learn Lady Madonna, Woot, Long and Winding Road, all of those songs. And then I had to learn how to play the guitar, because I needed to learn how to play Yesterday and Blackbird. So had I not done that, I would have never been able to be in Led Zeppelin, because I wouldn't have known the foundational elements of the keyboard and the guitar. And mandolin, I basically bought a mandolin the day I joined Zeppelin, and I was planning going to California with him 2 weeks later. So
you knew it was coming anyways. You're like, all right, well.
And then the bass pedals, that was difficult. That was the most difficult thing I've had to do, because I was playing keyboards and then had to play the bass with my feet. Still to this day, that's the most challenging thing, I'll tell you.
I can barely chew gum and walk. That is awesome. That is and now moving. I know 2020 kind of was rough on musicians for sure. I'm sure it was rough on all of the bands that you're in. Are you starting to see some stuff coming back right now?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was telling Brenda, I said, we've got like 2 Saturdays that are open coming up, and then every Saturday is booked through July.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's great.
Yeah, things are starting to happen now, and we're really excited about that.
Yeah,
I love this. This is my friend Rob. The show at Quiet Canyon is where I first seen Steel Rod, and they blew my mind. Have been following ever since. Zeppelin is one of my favorite tribute bands of all time.
That's awesome.
Robert.
We know Robert. Yeah. Hey, Robert. Yeah. Thank you.
Those were some great times. I think we opened up for you guys maybe like a handful of times there back in the day.
Absolutely.
What year was that? When
I try not to remember.
Man, you had to be in your 20s back then.
You were young.
I was a young buck back then. I was young, dumb, and yeah.
What year was that?
I want to say probably back in like 2006.
So I'm going to say a name that we probably like Rick Ortiz days.
That's right.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. That was Rick Ortiz days. We played there. I think we also played my good friend Edgar, he is an elephant. He remembers everything. 2006. Yes, 2006. I love this.
Wow.
He even says July of 2006.
Like what?
I have no idea, but I love this. Robert, he says this was back when there was no grays in Whit's beard and Whit's goatee.
David,
I've got some salt and pepper going on. So switching gears, we went from bands. Let's go to businesses. Now, Brenda, I know that you have a business where you're a notary. Is that something that you do by yourself? Do you have business partners? And how long have you been doing it?
So I've been a notary since 2002. And I did have a business partner. But 2020 slowed it down
Yeah.
quite a bit.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that 2021 the notary picks up.
Yeah.
Tell them
No, but wait, you've been a notary since 2002?
2002.
And is that something that has just what's drove you in that direction?
So I worked at the auto club, and they actually required all employees to be notaries. So I got my commission, and then I kind of upped the ante and became a loan doc signing agent, and continued that through today till 2020, where everything kind of came to a screeching halt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing that I know and love about you is that you adapt, and you're just such an entrepreneur, because literally as soon as, you're always coming, and this is why I put businesses, because I know that you have ventured off into a lot of different things. And I think just recently you have a new business that you're doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So because notaries kind of came to a screeching halt, I developed this craft called the Blondie Collection, and they are tumblers, custom tumblers. So this is one I just did today.
Here's the other one.
Oh, wow. Okay, so custom tumblers.
Yes.
And tumblers are how what size?
30 ounce, 20 ounce.
20 ounce.
This particular tumbler is yours.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get a 5-foot Viking tumbler. I love it. And it's actually 5 feet tall. I'm
doing tumblers. So, I don't know.
Yeah, she's doing a great job with it.
Yeah. Well, I just saw recently a post. I think you posted, because I've been to your house. I love every part of your house. You have the music room, you have your office, you definitely have a great wine selection there too. I like that. And you had posted some pictures about getting everything, like you organized everything, and you took some video, and I thought you were so organized. You've got everything lined up where you need everything, all the different cups, all the different stickers, all the different. Do you ship everything, or how does that work?
Oh, I do. I ship it all. So if someone orders, I make it. I talk to them about what they want, and then I ship it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just so anybody who's watching, if I'm not mistaken, do you have all of the stuff on the Instagram page?
I do.
Okay, so if you guys look in the description of the video, down below, there's a place where you can get a hold of World According to Woot. There's a place where you can get a hold of their Instagram handles as well, and you can reach out and find out. If I'm not mistaken, there are 3 sizes, correct?
So yes, I have a 12 ounce, which is I wish I had it. 12 ounce, which is a 30 ounce, which is I would say, if you want to drink water all day, and then
or beer.
Oh, this is the.
Yeah, or beer. And then I have my 20 ounce tall, which is the popular one.
Yeah. I think that one, when I get that's going to be my coffee. That's going to be my morning coffee right there. I love this. My wife, she says, Brenda, I want to be like you when I grow up. And we have Edgar. He says, take my money now.
Take it.
So Edgar, you can head over to the Instagram, reach out to her there. So excellent. So businesses, bands. Okay. The last one, the last one that I wanted to jump into was, and this is the reason why I wanted this last, is because this is literally what this is what got my attention with you guys. I thought it would be so great to have you on here. And the name of this section is What the WAW, because I thought it was so interesting. I think we talked on it just a little bit earlier about how I stumbled across you guys doing the live streams and stuff like that. And we've had a conversation before about how this started, and I thought this is a great thing that we should talk about. So let's back up. We're going to back up almost a year. And if you guys can let us know, how did World According to Woot come into existence? What was the goals behind it? You know, did you guys, was it something that you guys just had to jump? Oh, I lost them. I think that, but anyways, when they do jump back on, I'll let them know if anybody is there with me. I think we are having a little bit of internet problems here, but hey, you know, it is what it is, right? I think we're jumping on. I think let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. I see the little turning dial. In the meantime, we have Gary, I Dig Wits, Taurine, and Nordic Mead. Hey, there you are.
We're back.
Okay. You guys took a break. You guys went outside.
No, we just told the whole story, Whit, but it was so racy. It was black. Basically, what happened once the pandemic hit, hey, Robin just joined us. Once the pandemic hit, we were sequestered to the house and watching Netflix every day, and
no lashes.
Yeah, we didn't have any shows. We had no shows going on, and we realized that we didn't have anything that even motivated us to take a shower for an entire week. So we thought. we thought, okay. Prior to that, when I would be driving the show, I would always go live, and I would say, hey, we're live from the Promobile, and I would tell them at night. So I said, we never get to interact with our friends anymore.
We miss everybody.
Yeah, we missed everybody. We said, why don't we just go into our backyard and go live and just
2 lawn chairs.
Yeah, in the backyard. And it was during the summer, so it was really nice out there. We started, talking with our friends. People click on, and they tell us what's going on in their life, and we tell them what's going on in ours. And we thought, okay, after a while, we can stop the live stream thing. But then people started commenting and giving us names for what you call the live stream. We even have a tree out in the backyard, and we have people name that tree. That being the real Slim Shady.
He had a face. He had eyes and a mouth.
Yeah. So we, but we kept saying, hey, this might be the last week that we do this, and people would contact us and say, no, we want you to come next week. So
we literally we'd lay in bed on Tuesday going, should this be our last show? Is it dumb? Should we end this? It's kind of stupid. Should we end this?
Was that on the was that on the second one or on the third one?
It was probably about 4 months in.
Yeah.
It was like 4 months in.
But maybe like 2 months. 2 months in, we started saying, probably getting tired. Let's put the kibosh on this. But people kept asking to stay on.
Hey, you know what? I'm getting a few. I'm getting a few text messages saying that we got to try this one more time. I'm going to remove you guys, and then if you guys can close the browser and then hit the link one more time, and let's jump back on and see if we can get it a little bit better. All right, we're going to see if we can get that a little bit better. That was a little bit rough. Sometimes, it is what it is, right? We got to deal with internet connections and unfortunately, so I have Spectrum. I have Spectrum here, which is pretty good. I guess I pay for like the regular 200 megabytes or something, but I don't know. I think if I'm going to be doing some live streams, maybe I should invest in maybe a higher stream. So, but we'll see about that. Let's see if we can try this one more time. One more time. All right, I think that's better. I think we're good. Are we good? Are you guys there? I've got you guys froze.
I got you. Got you.
Okay, now you're back. You're back now.
Oh, okay, there you are. Okay, perfect. So you did the World According to Woot for a few months, just going live just from the patio, like where you're just sitting outside, just hanging out.
Yeah.
But there was a reason we did it, and we wanted to make sure that for the hour that we were on, that we weren't addressing any of the obvious
political,
religious, whatever was going on in the world. We just wanted to have a powwow with our friends, and we weren't going to talk about all the BS. My mom's my Facebook friend.
Yeah, Gary, he says, as we wait, I'll raise my martini to the 5-foot Viking.
There you go. That's awesome.
So basically,
I love
Yeah.
that you guys recognize that. You know,
you
guys are just great human beings, and anybody that's been around you for more than 5 seconds knows that you guys have good hearts. You just want to have fun and you love people. So
that means a lot. That means a
when
lot.
you recognize that, and
that's exactly,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so when you recognize that, and then you jump into doing a live stream, let me ask you this: the first couple of times that you did it, were you just holding the phone up, just hanging out outside? You know, how did you do it?
It was so ghetto. It was so we had no idea what we were doing. Now we
I still don't know what I'm doing.
So ghetto.
Yeah, no, I think you had a little tripod, right? That you put the phone on.
I feel like I might have held it the first couple times.
Did we just hold it?
I feel like I might.
We may have. Yeah, we may have done that. Man, it's so hard to even remember what we even talked about the very first time. But it's great because a lot of my friends that I went to high school with will click on, and we'll chat with them, and we get to tell about the funny things that are going on in our life, like with mice in our kitchen. Which we saw another one today.
We have a
mouse. We just got rid of one,
we have
and now we got another one today.
We have a mouse.
You got rid of Feifel?
We have another one.
Well, she put him out in the backyard, and he decided
he circled around and came back in.
He was sitting at our table having a bowl of cereal this morning.
He circled around and came back in.
Oh yeah, see, Robin says she remembers the selfie WAW.
Yes.
Yep.
No,
should we tell the Robin story? Should we tell the Robin story?
Tell the Robin story.
So, do you know Robin Rawls?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
So, do you want to hear the funniest story ever of my first encounter with Robin?
Hold on a second. Go.
Big Bear. So we were in Big Bear. So Robin. So Long Run had just gotten done playing, and Robin wanted to take pictures with the band. Well, I walked up to my husband, I think to tell him, I'm going to the car, I'm going to go get something. And the minute I whispered into Jim's ear, Robin Rawls comes over to me and says, "It's my turn." Basically letting me know that I was skipping the line. So instead of letting her know, my husband, I said, "Okay, no problem. I'm gonna stand back." So I did. And then somehow she found out who I was.
Yeah. And
it's been an amazing relationship ever since.
No, she didn't say it's my turn. She said, "Excuse me."
She said, "Excuse me, it's my turn."
Look at this. Look at this. She said, "Excuse me."
It was the best. It was the best. So now whenever I see Robin, I have to say, "Excuse me."
Excuse me.
So Robin was very offended that I was telling my husband, I'm like, I'm going to be in the car. So she's like, it's my turn. She thought I was cutting. She thought I was cutting the line.
She thought you were getting out of line, well, which she does quite often. Whit.
It was the best. It was the best one ever.
You know, Robin's awesome, and every time that she comes out to support the long run, and she's come out to Fantasy Springs to see Steel Rod, and you know, she's just fantastic. So that's pretty awesome that she wanted to be next to him so bad that she told his wife, "Excuse me."
It was the best.
It was the best.
So fun.
You know, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was amazing.
It was really funny.
That's awesome. So let's get back to these live streams. So you're doing these live streams out on the patio. When did it change from just a casual let's get out there, go live, talk with our friends into, because now you guys have a good little production going on. You guys have some I know you've used green screen occasionally. You have a nice little background. Now you guys have a fern, and you guys and
it's not like the green screen.
And no, I'll tell you what, it's not the easiest thing. It really isn't the easiest thing. But trust me, you definitely want this green screen for me anyways, or you're just going to look at my bedroom and it's not fantastic. But I know that you guys have moved forward with, like, you even have like sponsors. You guys were looking at, a few weeks ago, there was an automotive gentleman that you were talking about, and you did something. So when did it switch from just having fun, hanging out on the patio to, hey, we've got something here, let's move forward with it and take the production level up?
Yeah, it just kind of morphed into that over time. Brenda started doing some more research and found a new streaming platform called StreamYard, which is what we're on right now.
Yeah.
And she said, because we would be bringing people in on the Facebook live stream, and it was kind of grainy. It was hard to see them. Sometimes you wouldn't even be able to hear them very well. So this turned out to be kind of a game changer for us. And we've only been doing that a little over a month now, right?
About a month.
Yeah, about a month. And we found a green screen and all the lighting. Where did you find that, honey?
Facebook Marketplace.
Really?
Yeah.
And she got all the stuff for like $60.
It was insane. It was insane. Someone was just downsizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ended up finding a lot of my stuff on Amazon. I went there and I figured, you know what, after doing this, I'm like, you know what, I was going to start the 5 Foot Viking last August, but I said, let me really put some effort into this and let me get some good, equipment. Let me get some good, itinerary and some outlines and stuff like that. I'm very organized as you are. And so it was kind of cool to like, I really researched different green screens, different microphones, and I've upgraded from time to time. I started off with a small mic. Now I've got this awesome Shure MV7 and this boom stand that's pretty cool. And some different, it's a lot of, but here's the thing. I never would have done this if it wasn't for my friend Edgar. Edgar he knows so much, and you can literally go back into my podcast and listen to them from podcast 1 up until today is the podcast 12, and wow. you can see the change. You can see how it got better and better and better. At least the audio did, not really what I look like or how I'm talking, but the But it was really cool to see how that change can happen by using different equipment and stuff like that. So watching your guys' podcast or live stream podcast, it is pretty much a podcast, but watching it go from holding the camera out in the patio and hanging out and then moving into doing different things, you guys had the long run, all of the members, you had them on the podcast not too long ago, and there was like you had 6 people at the same time. Like, that was like herding cats. What kind of experience was that, and how did you guys handle it?
Well, it was awesome because we had the whole band, and we thought it would be funny if I were to actually go into another room and be in one of the squares. And we were going to call you. I don't know. You were probably doing a gig because it was Wednesday night, so it probably couldn't have happened. But we thought, I was in the other square, and she called me back in and said, "No, you're not a guest. You're the host." And we said, "Hey, why don't we get Whit to be my sub on in the 6th square?" But we realized that you have a residency is it Decades Bar every Wednesday night?
Yeah, so Still Rod has been fortunate enough that here in Orange County, we're open up a little bit more than most cities and counties. So in Anaheim, we have got a residency on Whiskey Wednesdays where we play from 7 to 10. But I'll tell you what, if you would have called me beforehand, I would have gotten my phone out and been that guy. Listen, if I love when you guys call me to sub in. It's funny because I wish that I could play with you, but we play the same instrument. So that's why it was so much fun seeing you guys last week when you guys played at the Fantasy Springs Casino, because I never get a chance. I never get the opportunity to watch the long run with the bass player, with the number one lineup. I love watching that and seeing you guys, and even for not performing for a long time. In the past year, the long run was doing. A year ago, I was doing 2 shows a month with the long run, and that means that the Zeppegan was doing all kinds of gigs. So we were super busy a year and a half ago, and then this last year, I know that the long run hasn't been doing a whole lot of them. So to see how good you guys were last week, it was pretty awesome to watch that. So
thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it was. We had one rehearsal leading up to it, but still. When you're right in the heat of the battle, I threw a couple of rocks there, with the wrong chord.
So Gig says having both Jim and Whit on the same property
was warm. And I don't know how to say that, Gary. You've got a much bigger vocabulary than me. Luscious. I can't even read. I guess luscious wouldn't be the adjective that I would use. But one of the fun things about filling in for you is the fact that we're so vertically different. Because I'm the 5-foot Viking. I even told Gary this. I told him, I said, hey, so you guys are going to be at Fantasy Springs and Steel Rod's going to be there. You're going to have the 5-foot Viking and the 6-foot Viking at the same venue. So, that's all.
I don't know this yet, Whit, but you're going to be playing with the Long Run this Friday, and it's a sold out show. Sold out show.
And you may get an appearance from us.
Oh, I hope so, because I really haven't rehearsed these songs, so you might have to come up.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, so I'm going to be playing in Montclair the same night with Deja Vu. Yeah. And in fact, if anybody's there, anybody's logged in here with us, you can't go to the long run show now. It's already sold out. So if you want to go to see live music, you got to go to the Montclair Canyon to see Deja Vu.
Here's what we may do. We may get in our car and drive to you boys.
Yes.
I can't think of a better idea. Than
but
than
the show
you
will
showing
be
up.
over at that time, but at least we can get together and have dinner, you know.
Oh, please, that'd be great.
Or some money, in my case.
Oh, yeah.
Or some wine. I don't know.
There you go. Let's see, got a hair right there.
So, okay, so we talked about how I love talking. Like I said, as we talk, we can talk for hours and hours because we just have so much fun. But so World According to Woot, did you come up with that name right away, or was it something that took a minute?
It wasn't us, actually. We just said, hey, guys, now that we're doing this on a consistent basis, we want to get your ideas as far as what we should call this. And we get World According to Woot was obviously the one that won out, but that we had Woot Nanny, Wooten Weekly.
Wooten Weekly. But World According to Woot seemed to fit.
Yeah, that's right. That's that's right. That seemed to be the one that rolled off the tongue easily, and we decided to go with that one. But I was pushing for Woot Nanny for a while there. I really liked that.
I didn't like that one.
I for my podcast, I was trying to think of, a lot of the podcasts that are out, they usually go by their name. You've got the Joe Rogan Experience. You got the Ed Namrod podcast. You have this, so it's like that. So I was like, oh, the Whit Patrell podcast. And I'm like, I don't even like my name. Like, I don't even think that's going to work too well. And then, a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, everyone knows Karen Toady. Karen Toady, she is married to Christopher Knight, Karen Knight actually, but we've talked in the past plenty of times, and she's Italian and she's 5 foot. She's a little tiny thing, but she's a firecracker. And we kept talking like, you need to come up with the 5 foot mafia or something, some type of something. And she was like, I've got this and this and this. And then I kept thinking, and that we were talking about the podcast, and I was like, when I was looking, I was like the 5 foot Viking. I was like, yeah, but I'm 5'6". So maybe the 5'6" Viking, that doesn't really roll off the tongue. Actually, I'm not even Viking. I'm actually Greek. So that's more Spartan. So the 5'6" Spartan. And then the more I went down that road, the more it just sounded like shit. So I said, I'm going to keep it simple and just go the 5 foot Viking. And that's how this podcast became a thing. So
I love it.
So now with World According to Woot, and now that you guys are doing because you guys are doing some cool stuff with it. You guys are having some fun. You guys are having some good guests on here. You guys are have some sponsors and putting some production into it. Where do you see, like, what's the next level for this? What are you guys thinking? Are you guys thinking ahead? Are you guys like taking it to another level?
Yeah.
Well, we started, realizing, we would have our friends like yourself, we would just click you onto the live stream and just talk about what you're doing musically. And we have so many friends that are in the tribute world. And we thought, you know what, this is a perfect opportunity to bring some exposure to them. We've said, okay, once a week, we'll have one guest a week, although tomorrow, we're not only going to have our good friend Ray Kokel, who sings in the Deja Vu tribute band with me, but we're also going to have the person that you were talking about earlier.
Our sponsor.
Yeah, Calvin Ellis is going to join us for a bit and talk about his auto repair business. In fact, if you don't have a mechanic that you trust,
let's do it.
What's that?
Go see Cal.
Please.
Yeah,
There we go.
If you have a car or truck, go see Cal.
If you want to save a buck, go see Cal.
Take the car in for your wife.
She will love you all your life.
Go see Cal. Go see Cal. Go see Calvin Ellis at Calvin Ellis Auto Repair.
How is that? How do we even know that?
He's awesome. so good. And you know what? When
I love you guys so much.
Well, you know, when you're dealing with automotive issues, you know, how many times over the years have you said, "Oh man, I got to take it into the mechanic. I'm sure they're going to rake me over the coals and tell me this stuff is wrong." That
no,
you know.
I have to tell you, Calvin will say, in 4 months you have to start looking at this.
Yes. And so,
Who tells you?
yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. He, you know, if your engine light goes on, he'll reset it and say, "Hey, you know, it says it might be this, but let's just see if it stays on. If it goes off and
He's
stays
amazing.
off, then there's no problem." Other people will say, "Oh no, it's this, and it's going to cost you this."
I'm gonna charge you $1,500.
He is such a great friend, and we recommend everybody to go and see him.
And what city is he in?
He's in the city
Burbank.
of Glendale.
No, Glendale. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
What's
right.
You both said 3 different cities.
So, I know, sorry. 501 East Glen Oaks Boulevard.
Yes.
Okay.
But so yeah, we highly recommend them to you
We
and,
love 'em.
and all of your viewers if they don't.
We're
have
going
their
there
mechanic.
tomorrow.
We are.
We
We're
are.
going to pick up
There.
a vehicle there tomorrow.
Yeah, my daughters.
That's right.
Very cool. So now, like, so you're doing different spots. So tomorrow you have Cal, you have
we have Ray. We have Ray.
Calvin and Ray Kokel.
okay,
so
and that's
tell us
tomorrow
what-
night at what time?
That's going to be tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
So you got to talk about Ray.
Yeah, Ray, I'm telling you, Whit, you haven't had the opportunity to hear this guy sing yet, but man, what an incredible voice this guy has.
So I want to take a minute. When Jim Wooten says that, you don't hear it often.
I said it about Whit.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting is that you told me that a few years ago, actually, when because I've been filling in now with TLR for, gosh, I want to say I'm going on maybe like 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But at the beginning, I remember we were at what show was that, Brenda, that you came out to? I want to say it was the Grove in Anaheim that you came out to the show because I want to say Jim was either out of the country or out of, he was far away. He was really, really far. And you were still in town. So you came out to support the long run. And even though, you've got the 5-foot Viking, not the 6-foot Viking. And I thought it was really cool because we were hanging out backstage. And you had told me in that moment too that Jim speaks very highly of you, and he's every time that you fill in for him, he's just very happy that you are there holding it down. And you told me that you were like, Jim doesn't say that unless it's warranted, and I just it means a lot to me.
Oh man!
So I have to tell you,
and
I will say that I 27 years plus. I don't hear that a lot. So when he speaks highly of a musician, you're a good musician.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I saw you playing the steel rod and singing like you did, I just said, "Oh man, this is a no-brainer."
Yeah.
So I immediately went over and talked to you right after the show.
And then I feel like such a douchebag for not learning the songs.
I found my sub. I don't hear that often.
Well, I really did. After opening up the songs and doing the homework and realizing how difficult it was, I really, I see what a great band TLR is. TLR has some fantastic musicians, some great performances, and a great catalog of music. That's why I'm really looking forward to playing with them this Friday at the Paula Casino. And I'm going to throw it out there. I know it's sold out, but hey, show up. If you guys are out there and you guys want to show up, and if you're in the vicinity, come down, see if you can sneak in, scalp a ticket. I don't know. But
and you may see Jim and I there at the end.
Yeah, afterwards we'll be there to cheer the band on.
Maybe.
Hopefully we'll catch the ending part of the show.
We're gonna be racing there.
It's a little bit over an hour away from us, so it might take us to get there.
But after party.
There you
after
go.
party would be, if I'm not mistaken, it's a casino too. So
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
All I'm saying is,
Oh man.
Definitely looking forward to it. I always look forward to seeing both of you. And I'm just, I think that this is a perfect place to take this podcast out. But before we go, I do want to give the stage to you guys. I know that we have a lot of links in the description to find you guys everywhere and do that stuff. And I know we've talked about a few promoting things, but I'd love to give you guys 30 seconds to a minute. If the stage is yours, please promote. Where can they find the tumblers? Where can they hire Jim? Where can they go to a notary? Where can they find everything?
Well, wait, does this mean that we're at our wits' end?
I knew that was coming.
All
right. So
tell them about the tumblers.
So tumblers at the Blondie Collection. But
on what social media?
That's on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for my schedule, you can find the shows that we're doing for Zep Again at www.zepagain.com. For the long run, TLR, it would be tlreaglestribute.com, and you can find our schedule there. And then on Facebook, you can find Deja Vu, tribute to Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Heart of Gold, which is a tribute to Neil Young, celebrating the music of Neil Young, and Tailor Made Tapestry, which is a tribute to Carole King and James Taylor. You can find all of those pages on Facebook, and we've got our event schedule lined up there for you.
Yeah. I forgot that Jim has like 20 bands that I was like, okay. Tell you what, you promote the bands. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
And you can find our brand new WAW Facebook page, and please go over and give it a like, and it will keep you apprised of when the show is happening and who's going to be our special guest that week.
Yep.
I love the fact that you just put that together just recently. I love it, and I was the first I'm like, I like this. I'm going to promote it. So everybody at home, in the description, whatever you're looking at, it might be above, it might be below, but in the description, you've got links and just information all over that. Please click on everything. Go and support all of the local talent and all of the local podcasts and all of the local everything that we're all trying to do, because we're moving into this weird digital world that we're not really used to, but we're trying to figure it out. So
that's right.
I love the fact that you guys are here. I just wanted to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, hanging out with me on a Tuesday night.
Love you so much.
Yeah, you were talking about us being great human beings. Brother, we feel the same way about you.
We love you so much. We love
you so much. We want you to move into our house. We've got a guest room.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Me and Marlene, we're going to bring the puppies up. We got to make sure everybody gets along.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome.
And we'll make that happen. So, all right, you guys, everybody at home, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate your interaction. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys just jumping on and hanging out with us and commenting. For the 5 Foot Viking podcast, join me next week. Same Viking time, same Viking channels. Love you guys so much. And I think this is how you end it.
Great. Have a great